All right, we're joined by Willard and Dibs.
All right, we really are.
They
missed the fight. I got it. Oh,
these
boy.
two?
They were
I know.
Frazier and Ali. I won't tell you what about.
It just
I know what about. I heard.
Oh, okay.
The moral victory.
Yeah. Morale victory, as I
Right.
said it earlier.
Right.
yeah.
But Willard, I'm with you.
Good job, Warriors. You did great.
Yeah, you can bring orange slices if you want. And,
You're the one who brought them.
No, here's the bottom line. You can say that moral victories don't exist. Find me one Warrior fan who was pissed after the game last night. Find me one, and I'll agree with you.
Okay,
there are none.
Let me counter that with this.
Matt Steinmetz.
Do the standings?
He's not a Warrior fan. He's a Mavericks fan.
Do the standings give a crap about?
No.
So the Warrior
didn't
fans
say
were
that.
happy. So you know what? Adam Silver, after further review, it was a moral victory. We're going to give both teams a win because you know what? Darn it. At the end of a road trip, you went to Denver undermanned, you were outgunned, and you know what, guys? You played really well, and the Warrior fans aren't upset, so you all get wins.
So
Oprah is not the commissioner.
Cue
Mark.
the Sally Struthers and get ready
For just 14 cents, both teams can get a win.
Get ready for 4 disingenuous hours of sports radio.
I'm keeping it real.
Because
They lost.
I said none of that.
Find
Find me a Warrior fan who was pissed.
Find me a reason that I should give a crap about.
Well, that's on you. That's on you.
Warrior fans. You know what,
That's on
guys?
you.
Good effort.
If you're not excited about this team, I don't know what to
I'm
tell
excited,
you.
Mark.
Well, then
I'm excited.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm excited by the fact that they played 48 minutes, and you know what? They played a game effort, and they lost.
How about if I ask it a different way?
Ask it.
You come out of last night more or less optimistic about the year?
The same. Same.
I think you're in the minority.
Well,
I think you're big time in the minority.
I'm just one of the few people who looks
away.
at things on a more global
I know, you
standpoint.
keep it real.
I've always kept
I know.
it real.
Also known as negative every single day.
I know, Pom Radio. We can do it.
I am trying to figure out.
Give me a W.
I don't really.
Give me an A.
I don't know how good they are. I'm not saying they're not.
Nobody said that.
Yeah, I don't know how
Just
good they are.
last night was
or do you walk out of last night more optimistic or less? I think that's an 85% answer is yes.
Yeah.
Well, you said it was 100%.
It might be for 85.
You said find me a Warrior fan who's not
Who's pissed?
enthused.
That's different. That's a completely different question.
Okay, it's nuanced.
Yeah, it is.
It's nuanced.
No Draymond and no Peyton, and you had the ball with a chance to win.
No, you didn't have a chance to win.
If you hit the 3.
They didn't take a 3.
They could have
You
fouled
didn't know what they
Steiny.
were going to take.
That's
during
right.
timeout.
And they took a 2.
Yeah.
So they never had a shot to win the game in regulation.
That is some of the most preposterous.
What are you talking
thinking
about?
Ever.
They had a chance
you
to tie the
know what
game.
they were going to do when they had the ball coming out the timeout, and what was on the chessboard was a 3, which would have won them the game.
No.
So you
It
cannot
wouldn't have won
live
them the
it.
game.
It wouldn't have.
Oh,
They shot the ball with 8 seconds left.
Don't do it. Just duck out.
And I'm going.
Hey, Mark,
we
hey, Mark,
had a good
Mark,
show.
Side of the room.
Son, let me take this one.
Semantic side of the room, and then reality side of the room. Whatever
it is.
So I'm tapping out.
You guys are wrapped up in Steph Curry dreamland because when they missed the free throw
That's not what
and
he
they
said.
got the offensive rebound,
not what he
they
said.
had a chance to tie the
That's
game
not
with 4 seconds
what he
left.
said.
He said they had the ball with a chance to win the game.
When Curry
They
missed
were
the
down
pass.
by
Yeah,
2
when Curry-
with the ball.
And when did they shoot it, Mark?
That doesn't matter. They have a chance.
That's all that matters.
I just got sucked into it. I said I wasn't going to do it, and then I got
That's
sucked
all
into it.
that matters.
This started out as Goose saying,
I'm gonna read text
Steiny, they
messages.
should have won last night. They had a
that's-
chance to
but
win it. I'm
that's
like,
the-
how did they have a chance to win it? Like they were down the last 5 minutes.
They were up 5
They
with
never
4
took
minutes
a
to go.
shot. They never took a shot that would have given them the lead.
But Curry missed a 3 down 1.
When?
At the end of the game, they were down 1. Curry missed a 3. My thing to
3
you
minutes.
is it was further than that.
No.
He hit the 3 to cut it from 5 to 2.
All right. With 3
Take it
minutes
from a
left,
guy
he
who
shot
had
it.
Denver minus 3.5.
I misspoke. With 3 minutes left, Curry shot the 3. They were down 1. My point to you is, Steiny, you keep going 5 minutes. That possession where Curry went with the left, Dibs, had he shot a 3 and hit, they got the lead.
With
so because they
3
didn't
minutes
take
left?
that shot.
Yeah.
No, the
That's
last
right.
possession.
Gotcha.
Where Curry went with the left. Who in here thought they weren't going to go for a 3?
Well, I didn't know what they were going to do.
My point was, but that was
sure.
on the table. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They had a chance.
So that's a chance.
Yeah.
If you make
I'm
it,
with
you
you.
win the game.
Listen,
You don't win the game because there's still 8 seconds left, and Denver has timeouts, and they can advance it. So that's where Klay Thompson had a chance to tie the game when Chris Paul threw him the ball and Klay.
There's 8 seconds left because that's when he shot it.
Right, Mark, and that's when he shot it, but he
could have
didn't.
waited to the buzzer if he wanted to, which is what Goo's saying. They had an opportunity to do it a certain way. They chose to do it a different way.
Exactly.
And you're pinning him in a corner.
I'm not pinning anyone in the corner.
Twisting his
I'm
words
looking at the reality of what happened
I don't want
in the
to
game.
fight like this today. So I'm going to go back to my
You better
text.
buckle up for 4 hours or calling us up because that's what's going to go down.
I'll just stick to my.
Are we going to cry about goaltending at the 8-minute mark instead? Because we can do that.
I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait till you work your anger out.
My only
5:45 maybe. No anger.
The only thing I said to Goo, and it's like, stop saying they should have won the game when they never took a shot that could have put them ahead in the last 3 minutes.
Why are you putting the S in front of this? It could have won the game.
Well, you said should have. And that's a big difference.
I didn't say they should have won.
Yeah, you said
stop.
They had a chance to win the game.
No, that explains why you're. No, I never said they should have won the game.
Okay, they had a chance to win the game.
Yeah, could have won the game.
Well,
they played great.
But whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, they played great.
Yeah.
They played great.
In my world, coming
Great
out of that timeout when Steph. And I know Dibs, there would have been time on the clock.
Yeah.
But that could have put them ahead had they chose to make a 3.
Not necessarily.
Right.
They would have had to back off
up.
that.
Yeah.
They didn't. Not necessarily was there any time left.
Oh,
they chose to go early because they were trailing. They could have waited till the buzzer and shot a 3.
And then
First text message I got from a buddy was, "Why'd he go so early?" It's the first, and I said, "Because they're losing. So if he misses, they have a chance to maybe tip it in or get an offensive rebound." But they could have chosen to wait until the buzzer, but they didn't.
Yeah. And that's a good question for Steve Kerr today.
It was a hell of a game.
I think the question of why they went early speaks more to what was available because they were running Steph off the three-point line, and he had an opportunity to get to the basket and take a shot inside the arc. Yes, exactly. So you take that shot, and then you foul, and you get a break because Denver missed 3 or 4 free throws down the stretch and gave you a chance, and then Klay was unable to get the outlet pass from Chris Paul, and you didn't get a shot up, and you lose by 3. So that's the way that goes.
What did you make of the Klay
great.
catch? I asked Steiny. That was just going to be a heave anyway, right?
It's a heave.
Okay, right.
But if he catches it and heaves it, he has a better chance of making it than if he doesn't catch it and doesn't heave it. So if he catches it and heaves it, it's a 4%, 5%. It's a 40-footer. It's a 40-foot leaner. Now, if it's Steph Curry, I'm expecting him to make it.
But Dibs, you know me. You know I'm not into it was a moral victory. You were without arguably 2 of your best defenders.
Yeah.
And you still took Jokic and the Nuggets down to the end. And you're 6. How can that not be? Well,
you got to mention they didn't have Murray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have to mention that.
Super encouraging first 9 games. Like, incredibly.
Who could say
that's a better way to put it.
Now,
encouraging.
What if I said...
And an incredibly encouraging night last night, in my opinion.
But what if I said you should have lost to the Kings without De'Aaron Fox at home?
Well, I mean, the whole...
But you didn't.
So now we're
at
the shoulda word. Like, anytime, the NBA especially, when scoring can happen in 2 seconds. Derek Fisher can do it in 0.4 seconds. Yeah. So, like, that, every fan thinks should have when the game was close. If Curry had waited till the buzzer and hit a 3, the Nuggets fans would have gone home saying we should have won that game. So, I don't mind you using that word because that's how we talk about.
No, we had some people.
That's how we talk about sports. That's how we talk about sports. But look, if you can look at it either in a finer view, which is just last night, which I found to be an incredibly encouraging performance, or you can look at it over the 9 games and just say all of the things many of us have said the last 2 weeks, which is this team is way better than they were last year. They are deeper. They are getting contributions from places you didn't know you'd get them. They have a look of a team that if provided health, and provided, continued chemistry and continued evolution of who they are, can this be a team that is involved at the end of the year? Absolutely. And I don't know how you couldn't be with 7 road games already in your back pocket out of the first 9. I don't know how you can't be over the moon right now if you're a Warrior fan with the way they're playing, the way they look.
I mean, I could give you a few reasons.
Go ahead.
Andrew Wiggins would be reason 1A.
Yeah, and I don't feel like they've really beaten anybody yet. And in fact, I feel like they've lost to the 3 best team they've played so far. Phoenix, Cleveland, and then last night.
Well, who is anybody? Because the Houston Rockets now have a winning record and blowing out the Lakers. So what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, they haven't beaten anybody.
They won 2 games at the buzzer.
Great. That's a big part of winning in the NBA.
Well, you're just asking.
Right.
I mean, they're 6-3, but I didn't come out of that game last night saying we're going to be playing in June. If I'm a Warrior fan.
I don't think June is relevant right now. If I say again what I just said was
saying they're going to be playing late in the season or something like that.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. You weren't listening to what I said. What I said was, I don't know how after these 9 games you can't look at this team and think, if blessed with health, continued chemistry, and the continued evolution of their players on the track they're on, they absolutely have a chance to be a part of the end of this season.
I didn't see that.
I would say.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
That's fine.
Night.
That's fine.
Not last night.
I think road games in the NBA are incredibly hard, and they have played at least 2 more than anybody else in the whole NBA. And to come out of that 6-3 is just incredibly impressive, especially when it's at the beginning of the year and you are infusing new people into the lineup. I think it's amazing. I don't think the Warriors thought they'd be 6-3 right now. Steve said so much last night. He said he thought if we could be 5-4 through that first stretch, we would be thrilled. And they're 6-3. So I think this is a very, very encouraging start to the year.
But you do, Dibs, you said it. My thing, I agree with Willard, but the Andrew Wiggins thing to me is the biggest enigma, and they can't get to where they want to go with him being this version of himself. We had Monty Poole on earlier.
Yeah.
He said he looks preoccupied out there. Those are like, everybody can kind of see it.
Sure.
6-3, I'll take it. They're deeper. But if he can revert back to just being somewhat give us something,
right,
then there's no telling where this team can go.
He's been the player that we all want him to be for 2 or 3 weeks of his entire Warrior career. And otherwise, he's been this player. So what does it take for him to be that player, not every night, but maybe 3 times out of every 5 instead of once out of every 10? Because you watch him play, and Steve Kerr doesn't feel like he can close with him. And, you get into the real crunch minutes, and he's nowhere to be found. And it's not by accident. And you see them play without him on the court, and they're playing great. And last night was a great game for the Warriors. And, they fought all the way to the absolute last breath in the last game of a road trip at altitude, at Denver, 4 games in 6 nights. And last year, that's a game they lose by 27. And that's a game where Steph and Clay, they don't play more than 14 minutes. They get pulled at halftime, and it becomes a Lester and Quinones game. But this year's team, they're not playing like that. They fought, and they played absolutely great all the way down to the wire.
I like Jackson Davis.
Yeah. And, Podziemski is playing like he belongs. And, you look at so many positives at 6-3. Now, could they be 8-1 if a couple of things would have broken their way? Sure, but they also could be 4-5 right now.
And I'm not mad at that, but they're not.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like
9 games is not going to tell us, though.
Super encouraged.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
I am.
All right.
When they got to the conference semis with all that they had to deal with, it was their fault too last year. Now, if you're telling me they're deeper and all that stuff, or most of that stuff is gone, you got the chef to close out games. I'm here. I got my popcorn.
Well, there's also, what about
the Lakers? Because
I didn't tell you they're winning it, Steiny.
The Lakers are 0-5 on the road.
And the Clippers don't know who they are yet.
The Lakers are 0-5 on the road. We're 0-5.
What are Denver?
Denver on the road?
Yeah.
2-1.
What are Well, why would you have to do this?
Just because I think that when we say, they haven't beaten anybody, I don't think that plays in the NBA on the road.
You know what?
Almost every game is hard on the road in the NBA. If you're a good team, you win most of them. They are. That makes them a good team. It's a good team.
You know what? Here's what
we don't need to talk about.
We're doing the same. You're doing the same.
We don't need to talk
We're
about
doing the
June
same thing with the Warriors that we did with the Niners when they were 5-0.
No, we're not.
Yes,
nobody said they can win it all.
We're jumping the gun.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
You're putting June in my mouth.
Right. Nobody said June.
I didn't say June.
We said,
keep my month out your mouth.
You like the start.
I literally never said the word June.
Nobody said June.
I talked about the end. I talked about the end with about 4 ifs leading into it. It's a very encouraging start. Nothing more. Nothing more.
Last night
why would we talk about June? I haven't had turkey yet.
But the Niners, I'll give you that. I put them in the Super Bowl after 5. Yeah, I have no shame in that.
And I still think the Niners are a very good team, too. We'll find out where that's going to go next.
What'd you think of Wilkes' comments?
I didn't watch last night's game and say, boy, these guys are going to be Western Conference Finals.
We need to see more. The whole point was we like what we see through 9.
Yeah, I don't.
Even if they had won, I wouldn't come in here and say, Steiny, they're playing in June.
I just don't think you can diminish
that
the what's happened in these first 9 games. Forget June. I just don't think.
Yeah, I don't think I'm diminishing it, but I don't think I'm diminishing it. I think you guys are making a little too much out of it.
I think.
What about that?
I think in professional sports, it is often, and I'm not getting personal here, but I think it's a lazy thing when people say they haven't played anybody yet. Professional sports.
Mark,
the Arizona Cardinals blew the Dallas Cowboys off the field when they were on the road.
There's going to be exceptions.
These games, right, they're hard. They're hard. You can't say, okay, they haven't done anything yet. What do you mean they haven't done anything yet? They blew the Kings opening night to smithereens. They hung right in there with the champs last night. Yes, they were down a man. The Warriors were down 2. Okay.
They beat Houston at the game. Houston's not very good.
Houston stinks.
And you can say,
Detroit's terrible.
Everybody else is having a hard time with them. Oklahoma City was a playoff team that was energized on a blue floor.
Again, this is exactly what we did with the Niners.
No, it's not.
They were 5-0. And we refused to talk about, hey, you know what? The Rams moved the ball in the whole first half. Okay? And then they got a bad break in the second where the guy drops the ball. Hey, you know what? The 49ers are 5-0. So we can't talk about, Arizona moved the ball pretty well against them.
Who said one thing that you can't talk about?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Fire away. What do you hate?
I don't hate anything. I'm just not as encouraged as you.
But what is too much? Scotty, what's too much to say
to do with
how
what
you
we
feel
did
about
with the
this
Niners.
Warrior 9-game start? Like, how far can we go? How far can Dub Nation go about these 9 games?
I guess we're not allowed to at all.
Willard and I did not say June. When nobody came in here and said, fine.
Okay, what does the end mean? What is the end? If you're there at the end, what is that?
But you weren't
That's what
listening.
you said.
And you weren't listening when I said 4 qualifiers before it. You weren't listening.
Right.
So that's all. So you weren't listening. I didn't say that. I'm not thinking about a championship. I'm wildly encouraged by what I see. You don't want us to be encouraged. Fine, don't be encouraged.
Now, who doesn't listen to who? You want to be encouraged, be encouraged.
I just said to you, go ahead and fire away with the reasons you're not encouraged, and you came up with nothing. Why are you not encouraged?
I'm not encouraged because I have not been impressed with their wins.
Okay, why?
Because they haven't been they won 2 games at the buzzer. 2.
What's wrong with that?
Well, that tends to even out.
The Nuggets won a game at the buzzer last night.
Right, and it tends to even out over the course of a season. So, you can say they're 6-3, and they are 6-3, but they got beat by Phoenix, they got beat by Cleveland, they got beat by Denver. So those are 3 good teams.
Yep.
I don't care that they beat Houston. Great, you can give them credit. And they beat the Sacramento Kings without their best player.
And with him.
Right, and then
on
who
their
else?
home floor.
And they won at the buzzer against OKC without their best
and they
player.
beat the Pelicans.
And is that fair to say?
Without their best player.
Sure. I get all that.
Well, how about this? The one thing we've worried about with the Warriors is injuries, right? Health, age.
Right.
Well, they've been healthy for 10 games, 9 games. Their opponents have not been.
Right.
So I'm putting that into the equation of, hey, I've had some good fortune early.
And
is that crazy?
No, but I'm going to tell you this. I think you have an issue thinking it's the Warriors against the field when, to me, it's the Warriors against last year's Warriors, and that's what makes me feel good. They're halfway to the win total on the road. They're connected, Dibs, and to me, that's good juju.
That's great. No, it's great juju, but I also think that, and for me anyway, you look at 6-3 and you have to qualify it. At least I do, based on what he's talking about, what Steiny said, and the wins that they have and the teams that they've lost to.
You don't have to apologize for him, but he's right.
You don't have to apologize for anything, and we can call last night a moral victory. If you want to call it a moral victory, you can. I don't believe in moral victories when it comes to pro sports. If I'm coaching 5th grade Bs or if I'm coaching freshman girls, and we lose 27-26, and darn it, it was a team that beat us by 40 the first time, that's a moral victory, girls, and let's get out there and let's beat San Marin. But in pro sports, to me, there's no such thing as a moral victory.
But that's such black and white thinking. Like
I deal with the standings, Mark,
but you're in the
media.
That's
what I deal with.
But no, you're actually a storyteller.
Right.
And the story is completely lost if we just say, did you win or did you lose? Now I'm going home. I don't even know how the hell the four of us would have jobs if it wasn't for the story behind what's going on.
But what's the headline from last night?
So it's almost as if
the Warriors have a moral victory?
No, not at all. But it's almost as if you guys are empowering the idea of reverse excuses. So in other words, when something doesn't go well, when Brock Purdy throws 4 picks in 2 fourth quarters, we're not allowed to have an excuse. It's black and white.
You can do whatever you want.
Hang on. You threw picks, it's black and white. So then when the Warriors win, hang on. I'd like to tell everyone the story of why they won.
I tell the story in wins and in losses.
It doesn't sound like it.
No,
it's
because you don't want me to tell the story as I see it.
No,
and the story that I'm telling is you played a good team and you didn't have one of your best players. They didn't have one of their best players. And you were at the end of a long road trip, and it's a game that you probably should have got crushed in, and you didn't, but you still lost. Okay, you lost. And you know what? We'll get them in this next homestand, Warriors.
I mean,
to me,
like
you can tell your story, and I'll tell my story.
Your story is they lost.
Mark. And I gave you 80 words, and then you boiled it down to 2 words because that's what you want to take from my narrative.
You said moral victories in pro sports don't exist.
They don't exist in my world.
Yeah,
and we can ask Steve Kerr. Hey, Steve, opening question today. Hey, Steve, was last night a moral victory?
I believe he's going to say
I don't know what he'll say, but if you listen to the presser last night, he actually talked about how incredibly encouraged he was after the loss.
You ask him that question, or I will. Well, and I'll ask him if last night was a moral victory.
Right, but there's a stigma around the phrase. So
it's a phrase that you use.
Yeah, because it's true. So if Steve Kerr goes, we don't believe in moral victories, but boy, we feel great about what happened last night. That's a moral victory. But you don't want to use the label.
Yeah.
No, it's not. People don't want to use the label.
It's completely semantics.
I don't think it is.
It's loser mentality is what it is because you lost the game. And the standings will reflect that you are 6-3 because Denver scored more points than you.
Right, but
now are there positives from that game?
Absolutely. Ago, Steiny said, but they won a couple games at the buzzer. I'm sorry.
Those are wins, kid.
Yep. Standings
Those are wins.
Will reflect.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
That's what I don't understand.
Well, it feels like you're telling the story in one direction, but not in the other.
No, I'm saying Warriors are 6-3. They're 6-3. Like we're on a radio show, so it doesn't end with Bill Parcells saying you are what your record says you are.
Right, of course
now
not.
I say they're 6-3, but you know what? I don't think they've really played a lot of teams. They've been healthy. They've gotten a little good luck. That's all.
I guess I'm saying,
but they're 6-3.
But they're 6-3.
So it feels like you guys want to explain away the wins, but there's no room to explain away the losses.
That's the way that you're perceiving it based on your own frame of reference, and that's
what we have in life.
Exactly. And so
you're super encouraged, and I'm kind of encouraged.
I'm encouraged. I'm absolutely encouraged.
No one's arguing
but I don't look at last night and think, you know what? They're really 7-2, 2 scoreboards. Yeah. I'm going to count that one as a win because it's a moral victory.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that you did. I'm saying I look at last night as a game where they didn't have a 20-plus a night scorer, and you didn't have your key offensive and defensive player. It was kind of a wash. And you went to Denver in a spot where, schedule-wise, that was a scheduled loss for you. 4th game in 6 nights, at altitude, at Denver, and you played a great game. And you had a chance to win it, and you didn't. It's an L, but it's of your 3 losses, That's probably your best loss.
You know what I saw from a lot of Warrior fans, including many who work at this station last night, was people saying at the end of that, wow, that was a hell of a watch. It was a great
watch.
basketball.
No
I don't
doubt.
think you enjoyed it because you lost a honey bunny on it.
First of all, you don't know how much I lost on it.
You told me how much you lost on it.
I told you I lost a unit, and you don't know what my units are.
Yes, I do.
So let's go ahead and take my pocketbook out your mouth. You don't want to.
You brought it to the
I didn't tell you what a unit
all
was.
day yesterday.
So yeah, I lost a bet.
Yeah.
I lost $5, Mark, because that's what a unit is for me.
How do you know what a honey bunny is?
Exactly.
70 games left.
Counting other people's pockets. Yeah, that's dangerous.
let's crown.
Oh, you want to leave? Steiny wants to go.
You want to leave after this?
We have a meeting.
We got our show.
Thursday.
Okay, good. Good luck with the show meeting.